We constantly get indie games that emulate and honor the legacy of classic Resident Evil games. Many of them have managed to deliver and have given us memorable experiences with unique twists. Today I'm going to talk to you about a game that looks to honor games from the late 90s with survival horror gameplay and dinosaurs. Hi everyone, my name is Jeremy and this is my non-spoiler review for Dinobreak for the PS5. The game was developed and published by Dead Drop Studios. Dinobreak takes place in the year 1999 and you play as Lydia, who is one of the not so many survivors of a dinosaur outbreak in the city of Cypress Ridge. It is up to you to find a way out of the city alongside the handful of survivors. Along the way, you will find out what caused this unexplained and difficult to believe dinosaur outbreak. The story in this game is presented through narrated voice-acted text at the beginning and ending of the game, voice-acted cutscenes, and documents that you find throughout the game. So let's talk about the visuals of this game. Dinobreak goes for a retro look trying to emulate games from the late 90s. In this sense, it goes for a realistic 3D look with simple textures and animations. In general, I would have to say that the animations are not very good and that the faces of the characters are emotionless. The best looking thing, I think, are the dinosaurs. The city setting of the game is serviceable, and there are a lot of objects and destruction in the environment that looks decent, but at the same time it looks cluttered. The game has a lot of options that you can toggle to modify the visuals of the game, and in terms of performance I have to say that the game ran pretty stable, even though I am not sure if it ran at a consistent 60 FPS because it felt as if it wasn't hitting it consistently. In other words, it didn't feel completely smooth. So let's talk about the music. All I have to say about it is that it is atmospheric and goes well for the setting and the feel of the game. So let's talk about the gameplay. Dinobreak is a survival horror game with inventory management, puzzle solving, exploration, and fighting. You will have to explore the environment to look for key items or solve puzzles to open new paths to move the story forward. As you explore, you will find weapons and resources to help you face off against enemies. You will have a variety of projectile weapons like handguns, rifles, grenade launchers, magnums, among others, and you can also find melee weapons like, for example, knives. Each weapon has a durability number on it that if it runs out, you won't be able to use your weapon anymore. Because of this, you will have to use items to restore the durability of your weapons. You also find healing items in the form of herbs that come in 3 colors just like in Resident Evil. Green for healing health, red for increasing potency, and blue for healing poison. You can also combine them. You have a limited inventory space, so if you run out of space you can either drop items or go to a chest and deposit them just like in a Resident Evil game. The puzzles in this game are simple and usually only require some form of code to solve. You will usually find these by reading documents that you find scattered throughout. In terms of the fighting, you will find a good variety of enemies as you explore. The enemies are mainly dinosaurs, but you will also find spiders and dogs. Enemies do not respawn. However, you will find eggs scattered around, and if you touch them, dinosaurs will hatch from them. This means that as you explore and engage enemies, you must be careful to not touch or shoot these eggs to evade making more enemies appear. The game is played primarily in a third-person perspective, but you have the option to play in first-person or with fixed camera angles. You can also play with modern controls or tank controls. The game also features multiple difficulty settings, so you can choose the one with which you feel more comfortable with. The game features multiple endings incentivizing replayability. Dinobreak is a short game and takes around 2 hours to beat, but there is an additional gameplay mode called Bonus Mode focused on arcade gameplay, where the objective is to survive for a period of time and kill as many enemies as you can. So let's talk about the pros and the cons of this game. And I'm gonna start out with the pros. The only thing that I really wanna point out that is a strength in this game is the music. I found the music to be atmospheric and serviceable for the game. So let's talk about the cons. And I have mainly 2 things to point out, but they are heavy things. First of all, the story presentation is boring. I feel like the game does nothing with the story and characters. The voice acting feels like it's AI generated. The only thing that happens during cutscenes is characters talking. The story pacing is non-existent because the story feels like it doesn't go through the motions of a normal story. It just feels like it goes from point A to point B to point C to point D and then the ending. But all those points feel the same. And it's weird because I'm aware that this game is trying to emulate games from the late 90s, but I feel like it didn't stick the landing. I have played many indie games that go for a low poly, stylized retro look and feel for their games, and they are incredible and immersive. Dinobreak goes for that, but does not achieve it. The second critique that I need to make is the gameplay in general doesn't feel good. The gameplay feels stiff, clunky, and unresponsive, and changing difficulties only makes the game either boring if it's too easy, or irritating in higher difficulties. The menu screens don't look good, and even the 3 camera options all feel clunky. And again, it doesn't feel clunky as if it were emulating the feel of games of old. It feels clunky as in not well designed or not polished. So in conclusion, Dinobreak is a lackluster attempt to honor the legacy of games from the late 90s. The game has some good ideas, but sadly the only thing it has going for it is the music. The story presentation and especially the gameplay leaves much to be desired. The game doesn't feel good to play and fails to immerse the player. I can understand that the game was looking to replicate the feel of the games from the late 90s, but I have seen other indie games go for that same feel and manage to do it, and this game does not achieve its purpose. I honestly did not enjoy my time with Dinobreak and cannot find any redeeming aspects in this game. For this reason, I do not recommend Dinobreak for the PS5. So that's gonna be it for my non-spoiler review for Dinobreak for the PS5. The link to the game's page will be in the description. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Giant spiders. Why the fuck are there giant fucking spiders? What in the actual fuck?
Hi everyone, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our content.